Cathy makes a discovery at the meditation center. Hello and welcome. Welcome to Input English. Today we join Cathy, who, as you recall, is the mother of Craig and Bobby. So Cathy is an attorney and she's having some problems. Her problem is that she is not sleeping well and she's having some bad dreams. She is troubled by several things that have happened. In her law practice, she lost a big case in court that she thought she was going to win. Recently, the episode of her son Craig getting caught smoking cigarettes, setting a field on fire, and then when he was caught lying about this to his parents was very upsetting to Cathy. And then most recently, Cathy's aunt, Irene, suddenly died. All of these things happened at about the same time, and Cathy feels very overwhelmed. She talked to her husband, Robert, about this, and he listened very attentively, very supportively, but after she explained what she was going through, he said, "You know, honey, I don't have the expertise to help you with this. Maybe you should talk to your doctor or a counselor." She thought about that and then answered Robert, pointing out that her doctor really looked for solutions in terms of pills and medications, and she didn't want a pharmaceutical workaround for this. She didn't want to be drugged. So she decided not to call her doctor about this. It just didn't make any sense to her to go that route. Many people might talk to their clergy, a rabbi, a priest, a pastor, but Cathy is not really religious, so she has no one in the clergy that she would confide in. She thought about seeking a psychologist to help her. Maybe that's the right answer. But she did what a lot of people would do. She went online. So she put her symptoms into the search window of Google and got a lot of results. The results she got were marketing. She got marketing for self-help books, self-help seminars, self-help videos, and she got a lot of ads for herbal remedies. She quickly decided that that was not the route she wanted. One of the references that came up was a discussion board about this sort of thing, and one of the participants in the discussion group suggested meditation. Now, Cathy thought that was interesting, but she didn't know anything about meditation. So she went back to Google and entered into the search window meditation training and then her location. Well, this gave different results. She found a meditation center about 2 hours away from where she lived, and it got good reviews. It looked very interesting. She looked deeper into this and found that it was a nonprofit, that it was respected, and they had various options available to her. They had day-long sessions of meditation training, they had weekend sessions, and they had week-long sessions. Now, as a practicing attorney with 2 small boys and a family to take care of, taking a whole week off for herself, she scratched that off the list right away. To choose between a day-long session and a weekend session, as she chose the weekend session. She talked to Robert, who agreed to keep track of the boys and free up a weekend for her to attend. She went online, registered. She found that they didn't charge a specific fee, but they requested a donation, and they suggested a level of donation, which she found to be reasonable. So she has completed her reservation, And soon the time came around and she went to her weekend seminar at the meditation center. When she arrived, she found ample parking and she went in to the entrance and was greeted by the staff. She went into a large room and it was full of people from all walks of life and all different ages, although they were all adults. Soon the session started, and it was a morning session teaching meditation techniques. She remembered two parts of the introductory talks that were of great interest to her. One was the problem of falling asleep when one starts to meditate. She observed that she would get very relaxed and would fall into a brief nap. She was concerned about this, but during the talk, they reassured her that this is quite normal and nothing to worry about. The other problem that they anticipated that she had also noticed was described by the speaker as monkey mind. He explained that when you are meditating, it is common for your mind to not stay focused on the meditation, but rather to go off and consider other things, things that you're worried about, things you might do next week. Your mind just goes wild like a monkey mind. The speaker explained that this is also quite normal and nothing to worry about. Simply make a mental note that monkey mind had occurred, regard it, smile, and then bring your concentration back to your breathing and resume the meditation session. She was taught that monkey mind is easy to control and not really a problem. Everybody gets it. Cathy observed that the morning session flew by super quickly. She enjoyed the talks. They had lunch. After lunch, there was a session of walking meditation, which she didn't really understand very well, but she tried to participate as best she could. At 2 o'clock, there was the Dharma talk, and that was given by John, and he did a wonderful job delivering his Dharma talk, during which he cautioned against clinging to objects and people. He told the group that clinging behavior can cause great suffering. In the afternoon, there was an opportunity to sign up for individual one-on-one sessions with one of the counselors, and Cathy didn't feel like doing that, so she just went home. On Sunday, she came back. The morning session was very positive. The Dharma talk was wonderful at 2 o'clock, but this time she did sign up for a one-on-one session with one of the counselors. She felt fortunate that she found an opening at 3:30 to talk with John, who had given the Dharma talk the day before. At 3:30, Cathy showed up at the small office where they would meet and introduced herself. She was ushered into the small room and they sat down. John asked Cathy to tell him a little bit about herself and explain how he might be of service. She did just that, and she explained that she was having trouble sleeping, she was having nightmares, that she had lost a big court case, her son was now smoking cigarettes at age 11 and lying about it, and then to make things even worse, her favorite aunt, Irene, died. John listened very carefully. He said, I think I can help you with some of these things. She felt reassured. The easiest thing to understand would be the bad dreams. People have been dealing with bad dreams for centuries, and There's been a great attempt to interpret these dreams very specifically, and most of that is just hocus pocus. He went on to explain that the best way for her to understand her bad dreams is in terms of anxiety. If she's having bad dreams, she should simply assume that it's from anxiety. Anxiety about her work, anxiety about her kids, anxiety. With that understanding, she need not worry about the dreams. As the anxiety is dealt with, the dreams will go away. He said, the rest of the story you told me is really a story of loss. You said it in your own words. You lost the court case. With your son, what you lost was the image of your perfect little boy, and now you have an 11-year-old boy who smokes cigarettes and disappoints. That's a type of a loss. And again, you lost your aunt. So what you've told me today is a story of loss. If you were at my Dharma talk yesterday, I cautioned against clinging to objects and clinging to people, because really the only constant in life is change. And if you see a lot of clinging attachment behavior in people, you see a lot of suffering from that. Now, this is where Cathy's analytical attorney mind kicked in. She knew that he was right, but she had a habit of analyzing facts and trying to understand them through that analysis. So she spoke. She said, I understand what you have told me, but something puzzles me. She pointed over to the table to a glass. She said, that glass there, it appears that you are attached to that glass. That is the same glass that you had at the Dharma talk yesterday. I think you're attached to that glass. How do we resolve what you're telling me against the appearance that you have attached yourself to that glass? John smiled and picked up the glass. He said, oh, this glass. Yes. Isn't it lovely? It's just the right size for my water. And isn't it nice how the light plays in the glass? It's beautiful. It's a very nice glass. I like it. And then he put it down. Cathy pursued her interrogation by asking, then how can you tell me you're not attached to that glass? John smiled and said, well, that glass is already broken. That's how I avoid that. The glass is already broken. I know that someone at some time will carelessly knock it off the table. It will shatter. The pieces will be swept up and discarded. That glass is not forever. It's already broken. Cathy didn't say anything. She smiled. She stood. She thanked him. She shook his hand. And she went home. That's the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I invite comments below. And I hope you join us in future videos. See you soon.